Recording in progress.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Zoom assistant. So I want you to get some new, fresh ideas from this event. And my whole purpose in any of the trainings that I do for teachers is to make sure that you are not overwhelmed, but that you feel like you have a roadmap. So there's a lot on the internet about growth, about social media, about marketing, about building a studio, and I want to help teachers feel confident and feel like they know what to do next without feeling like, oh, I just can't do all of this. I want to make it fun. I want to make it feel easy, no matter where you are in that journey of growing your business. So you know that you're in the right place today if you want to recruit new in-person or online music students. If you want to save time and money by not worrying about posting constantly on social media, and you want more confidence in your business systems and methods. So we're looking for ideas, confidence, and a roadmap. First, I want to say congrats on being amazing. I have been so impressed by teachers in the last couple of years who have completely shifted your studio to be online. Maybe it's hybrid, but you have also been embracing technology, which is just amazing. I want to hear in the chat if you have impressed yourself in the last year or in the last now 2 years, where you have now been using Zoom. Maybe you're using Rock Out Loud Live or Musicology. Maybe you're using OBS. Maybe you are using multiple cameras. Tell me what you are surprised you have embraced that you never thought you would be using as a music teacher. Tell us in the chat. At the end of the call, I have a worksheet for you that's called Clarify Your Message. And this is a worksheet where it's going to help you go through your branding and really get clear on what your values are. What do you hope to have as a part of your studio career in the next couple of decades as a business owner? So I'm going to just put that right through in the chat at the end of the call. So make sure you stick around for that. I'm loving all the comments. Multiple cameras. Cindy says overcoming technology challenges. Sarah says multiple cameras. Awesome. A little bit of an intro to me. I started the Teach Music Online training program in 2019, pre-pandemic. So basically, I've been teaching online piano for 8 years. It started when a couple of my music students, I was living in Arizona, a couple of my music students moved to Texas, and I thought, I don't want to lose you as students. I've heard of some people teaching online, so we actually started with Skype back then, in 2013 or 2014 now. And it's been amazing. I ended up switching all of my students online and traveling the world with my husband and our daughter at the time. So we traveled while I was teaching online. And there's a lot to the story. And if you want more, you can listen to my podcast. It's the very first episode where I kind of go through the entire story. But I wanted to create a course that gave music teachers a roadmap to transition online. So at the time, it was for weather reasons. It was because maybe you had to move across country. It was not because of a pandemic. So I actually launched my membership before the pandemic. So in March of 2020, is that right? Yeah. I already had it. It was already here. Everything was going. And since then, it's grown by about 10 times. So the original course was how to teach online. Well, most of you already know how to teach online now. So the course and membership is now coaching, courses, and community around everything with your business, building a website, marketing, social media, automating your business systems, everything you can think of. And it's so fun for me because I'm a business guru person. I love it so much. And it's so fun to mix my passions of business and music teaching and coaching. That's my family. We have 3 daughters. Whitney just turned 5 yesterday, the oldest. Mara is 3 and Becca is 9 months. She's just so cute. So we are a busy, fun family over here. We're going to dive right into common myths about studio marketing. Everyone has thoughts in their head about what you should be doing or shouldn't be doing or want to be doing, and those things can sometimes hinder your growth as a business owner. The first myth is that you have to pay for advertising. And I think we all have thought that at some point, that we need to start running ads. And it actually just is not true. You can have amazing growth without it. And I wanted to share with you a little story. This is a friend of mine. His name is Joseph D'Amico. He started teaching online pre-pandemic as well. He says, my studio almost entirely came from YouTube. I don't use Instagram at all, and I have very limited professional interaction with Facebook. I focus my marketing efforts almost entirely on building my YouTube channel. On YouTube, I have created a mix of different kinds of videos, each with a different call to action. Videos that demonstrate my teaching, my playing, and my interests tend to be the ones that bring students in for me. The students that come through this platform have typically been very high quality, and they feel like personal friends at that point. I wanted to share Joseph's story because I think he is a great example of using a platform that he's not paying for to bring him students. He has 40 students online, and he's also doing courses as well. And he's built all of that from a YouTube channel that he started in 2019. The second myth is that you have to post every day on Instagram or social media, or you have to post all the time. While some businesses thrive on social media, music studios do not absolutely need it. You don't need this. It doesn't need to be a daily thing for you. But inside Teach Music Online, I do teach you what you should be posting and how often, and I give you templates. So if it's something you really enjoy doing and it's something you want to do, absolutely, but you do not have to do those things. And the third one is that you have to charge what everyone else is charging. And this is a myth about marketing, especially as an online teacher, because you now have the globe as your market. No one is Googling your area if they're looking at online lessons with you and going, well, actually, what do they charge in Chicago for music lessons? That's what I should be paying her for lessons. They're not doing that. They are looking at what you provide as a business owner as value in your business with your lessons, and that's how they determine to take lessons with you. It's not how much you charge. And if you still have that in your head, I don't blame you. I can remember a long time ago when I moved from Boston, where I went to college, back to Mesa, and I was setting my rates for my piano lessons, and I had a friend of mine reach out who was a voice teacher in the area, and she was warning me, letting me know that there was no way I was going to be able to charge my rates. And they weren't even that high. They were just higher than the average for Mesa, Arizona. And I think about that often because it's such a false thing that we do where we look at the community. Inside Teach Music Online, I have 2 rate calculators that help you determine, 1, what you should be charging to hit your income goals, and 2, what you can be charging for your expertise and what you provide in your studio package. And that's what I want teachers to base it off of. How are you providing options for them to do master classes? Are you doing quarterly group recitals? Are you doing composition and improvisation? What are you giving your students? And that's where you kind of start thinking about your rates. Okay, we're diving into your studio marketing foundations checklist. And basically what I've done is I'm taking the first 2 modules inside my course, and I'm just shrinking it down and giving you some of those tips so that you can go and apply these things. I like giving you a checklist because I think it's something you can visually start walking through and having some success with your marketing. The first one is to launch your studio to all past students, family, and friends. And the reason why this is really great is basically what happened was when the pandemic hit, you all transferred online, or maybe you did later, I'm not sure when, but a lot of you are teaching online. And what you didn't do was fully embrace that you are an online studio. And because of that, it's been this very gradual shift to saying and to confidently saying that you can teach online. So what I want you to do is reach out to all of your past students, send them an email, make it personal, make sure you have some kind of catch-up line in there. I have templates for this in the membership because I know it can be hard to write. Just so they know you have an online studio. It's just letting them know, because the more people that know you're teaching online, the more likely you'll have someone say, oh, I know an awesome teacher who's teaching online now, when they hear of a friend who's looking for a teacher. It's all about spreading awareness. And we can't spread awareness if nobody knows you're online. We can't do that. We can't assume they're going to come find your website. We can't assume they're going to reach out to you. You need to let them know, okay? But we're not being persistent. We're not being a pest about it. We're just letting people know. So if you haven't done that yet, that's step one. All right, step two is to update your Facebook business page with new branding, new photography, studio information, and a strong call to action. Think about your photos on your website, and I want you to update them. I did a recent podcast episode about website photography that's really helpful. I gave you some tips. My husband is a professional photographer and videographer, so he has great ideas that I share through this podcast episode for how you can get them for free or do them on your own. And it's really not an option at this point to first of all, to not even have a headshot. You need a headshot. And then to have a headshot that's like a decade old. You don't want to shock your students when they get on a call with you, right? You want them to recognize you. And I want you to embrace who you are and be so happy to have your students on those calls with you. So get new photography. I could do a whole class on this and how excited I get about having a website that reflects you and reflects how amazing you are as a teacher. And it starts with the visuals. So photography and video, which can be really helpful and really not that hard to get. It could take you just a week or two to get those things updated. The third one is to get your business on Google. I want to hear in the chat, if you're on the computer and you can get to the chat easily, tell me, is your business registered on Google? Yes or no? This is a fast way for you to get registered and then start getting reviews. And we will talk about reviews in just a minute. So go ahead and tell me in the chat. And I'm just going to grab a drink of water really quick. Okay, this makes me really excited that a lot of you are saying no. So I'll tell you a quick story. One of the teachers that I coach, her name is Pamela, and she registered her business on Google about 6 months ago. And she quickly sent an email out to her studio and said, hey, go leave me reviews on Google, and you just send them the URL. And she has about 15 reviews right now on her Google business. And she gets between 5 and 10 inquiries per week because of this. So I walk you through how to do that, but you could also just do it. Robin said, I don't know what that means. What it means is if you just go to google.business or Google Business, just type it in and you can register your business, and basically you're registering the location of your business. So if you go to Google and you type in a restaurant in your area and it shows it on Google Maps, that's because they've registered their business. And then you click on it and it has all the reviews. You can click through to their website. There's a phone number. It's basically just a way to, it's like not an ad, but almost, because if people are Googling piano lessons in Denver and you have a piano studio in Denver, your business is going to pop up on that search. So that is like, I should have at the top of the checklist. It's the first thing you do. And that's going to help you a lot. It's going to help you get reviews. Now, I want to add that Pamela links her website and her whole onboarding process from Google. So because she has that onboarding process so easy, which actually I think is the next tip. Oh, we're almost there. I'll just get there. Ask for and acquire reviews on Facebook and your Google business. So don't hesitate to reach out for reviews. We're going to talk about reviews more in just a second. Create studio demo videos. Demo video is a quick video while you're teaching. So do a screen recording and show yourself teaching a student. And then I would not put a whole lesson on your website, but maybe do like a 5-minute activity that you do with a student, or a part of your lesson where you're demonstrating. But what can you show off about your teaching? Also, having a video where you're just talking to the camera and saying, welcome, I'm Carly, I run Walton Music Studio. I'm so excited to have you as a student. I've been teaching online, ... All of those things are going to help the student get to know you immediately, and it's much more likely that they'll reach out to you. So I have teachers complain to me a lot, and they say, no one is signing up for lessons. And I have a website, I have a Facebook page. Well, there's all these things that you can add that are going to help when someone lands on your website, convert them into a student. So that's why I have this list. If you have old photography or a big, like the home page of your website is just a wall of text, who is going to read that? They're not going to read that. You need an updated outward presence, online presence that it looks nice, that looks interesting, that makes them want to learn more. And these are just a few things you can do to get there. Studio website builders are amazing right now. Squarespace and Wix are the top 2 that I recommend. They're so easy, and they have templates that allow you to create a really beautiful website. And what I've done, I had teachers reaching out to me saying, I basically would do audits and say, let me look at your website and we'll audit it. And then I would go live and do calls for building websites. So I ended up just building a new course called Studio Website Builder that's inside Teach Music Online. So it's in there now, and basically I give you templates for every single page for studio websites, so you can just use that template and fill in the blanks. and I give you tons of examples, so I just want to make it easy. I don't want you to feel like, gosh, I gotta go hire a designer and a web developer, because you don't. There's so many tools for businesses, for small businesses, that can make these things really, really easy. Emily just asked, if you are online and travel a lot, which location do you choose? You actually can tell Google in your Google business, no location. So I would actually recommend choosing a location because it's not going to hurt you to have a location, but you can just choose no location if that's what you prefer. The reason it could help you to have a location, Emily, is because if there are people in Chandler, Arizona, that's the city I was born in, who want a piano teacher, you could show up for those people in Chandler, and then you're online, that's fine, but you still might want a location. I want to talk to you, Emily, about where you travel. I love traveling and teaching. Okay, reviews for the win. We all need reviews, and I know that they can feel like really hard to get, and you could feel a little bit like, how do I even get reviews, and are they ever going to help me? So let's just talk about how you can go about getting reviews. Why do reviews help? Reviews bring immediate social proof to you and your teaching. Without them, someone is left to take a chance on you, which is much harder to convince someone to do. That's it. You all know when you are going on a date with your husband or your wife and you Google a new restaurant and you spend 30 minutes looking at reviews on different restaurants or different hotels. They are so important. And it's the same for our studios. And because you've been teaching, I'm pretty sure you have at least a dozen students who you have taught. Ask them to leave a review. Just ask them to, and we're going to get to how you might do that. Reviews equal social proof. That's what they equal. And this is Pamela, who I was just talking about. She said, since joining, my studio has grown 300%, and I do not pay for a single advertisement. I simply use the methods of advertising that I learned in the TMO course. Reviews, right? You hear that and you go, what is it she learned? Like, I see her face. I hear that she's a music teacher. I can relate to her. And they're so helpful in validating the business. So start thinking along the lines of how you can maybe start acquiring some of those and do it today. Where would you use reviews? Like, where can we use these? Your Facebook business page actually has a section where you can, I need to tell you that you have to enable reviews first. And then you can send your students, actually, I'm going to share my screen with you and just show you this because that's why I did this on Zoom, so I could just do this really quickly. I'm on 2 monitors. Let me just let me open my Facebook page really quick. And you guys can go ahead and just put your questions as we go through this in the chat. Oh, that's the wrong browser. And I'll just peek at it every once in a while and try to answer them. I'm just going to show you my Facebook page and where you get the reviews URL, because that's the first step, is making sure you have the right URL. All right, share my screen, Chrome. Okay, so if you go to your Facebook business page, which is another thing you should have, it's amazing to have this, it's free. And you click here at the top where it says reviews, and then what you'll do is you're going to just copy the URL. It's everything before the question mark. So basically it ends up being your business /reviews. And I'm going to put my link here, so then I just paste the link in an email. So I just pasted the link in the chat, but you would copy that link and then you can email it, send out messages, send a text message. That would be the easiest. So then when someone clicks on that review link, they land on the reviews page. And I'm seeing it from my end, so I can't click leave a review, but they will just see something that says leave a review. If you don't have reviews enabled, you just go into your settings. Let me make sure. I have a video on this inside. I'm trying to remember where it is. I might have to go find it at the end, but I'll try to find it at the end. It's in your settings where you will enable your reviews. So hopefully that gives you kind of an idea for where you get the reviews. The other one for your Google business, I'll just show you how powerful this is. So if I Google piano lessons in Seattle, it pops up a map right here. This is on Google. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. Let me share my screen again. Okay, so when I type in piano lessons in Seattle, and it opens up a map. And if you're on a phone, I'm really sorry. You can maybe come back and watch this recording later. So it pops open all these little dots and institutions or studios. That's where yours would be. That's where your business would show up. And see right here where it has all of the reviews, all of these different, like 54 reviews, 10 reviews, 13 reviews. This is where someone would click on your business and get to learn about your business. So let's just click on School of Rock. It opens this. I can scroll down and read all kinds of reviews from students about this business. They have their website linked right here, so you can click through, go to their website. That's kind of from the perspective of a client who's looking for a teacher. Okay, we're gonna go back to my presentation. And if you have questions, put them in the chat and I'll be sure to get to them at the end. Oh, Julie. Oh, hi, Julie. It's good to see your name. Julie Hurd. What type of photos do you put on your website as an online teacher? So there's all kinds of photos you can put on your website. And I think I just did a podcast episode on this. Look through my podcast and look for studio photography. I think it's the Teach Music Online podcast. So just look that up. But really quickly, what you would do is I would have a professional photographer come in or somebody with a camera and get some photos of you teaching online, but it's just fake online. So you would open up your laptop, maybe have a screenshot of a student on your laptop screen, or maybe they don't even see your laptop screen. Have your cameras out, make sure it's uncluttered, and get a couple of photos of you actually teaching for your website. Those are called lifestyle photography. And it's like business lifestyle. It's you running your business. But in addition to that, you can do screenshots of you with a student and the student's smiling, or maybe the student's holding a book up. You could do a gallery view of you in your recitals with lots of your students. There's lots of ways. And this question always comes up. Anne asks, is there any security issue with putting your address in the Google Business Finder? That's just up to you. I would say no. I would just say no. But that's up to you. If you don't want your business address there, and if you don't need it there, maybe you could just choose the city. But here's the thing. Make sure you put in an accurate address in the back end, because they have to send you a PIN to verify your address. And that comes through the mail, because that way they don't want you just to put like some random address, because then anybody could just make up an address. So you do have to choose an address that you get mail from. Okay, so where to use your reviews? You use them on social media posts. You can screenshot them, your Google Business. Your email signature is a great place for a review. Your website homepage should have reviews on it. That's instant credibility, instant social proof. And then maybe build out a website testimonials page. How powerful would that be for you to have a website page that shows case studies? Basically says, this is what, this is how you teach, this is the story from other teachers, and that can be really, really, really powerful. And you can start getting those stories and sharing them online. So really quick, this is on the Teach Music Online website. I have just a tab up here that says case studies. So maybe you would have a tab that says testimonials. And I just have stories from teachers that I've worked with. But I have teachers all the time asking me, you know, I need to hear from a teacher who teaches voice or piano, and what has the program done for them? And I don't blame them. Like, I can talk about it all day long. You can talk about your piano studio all day long, but when they get to see it in action from someone else, that's going to make them think, okay, like, I can relate to that student, and it's worth looking into more. And we live in such a digital world right now where I can talk all day, sorry about this, but the competition is just going to grow. And I think as long as you're embracing your personality and embracing those stories, that will sell your business. When you embrace that student who wrote her own piece and then recorded it, and you put that on your case studies page, you know, when you record your virtual recitals and the grandparents that got to join in on that, like finding these little stories that are, marketing is just stories. That's what it is. It's telling a good story. So finding ways to kind of weave that into your business is going to help a lot. And I think it's the most fun part, is sharing those stories. Okay, how to ask for reviews. I'm just going to give you a little template here that basically shows you how you might go about it. I'll read through this, but you can create your own version of it. So you might say, hey, Samantha, I've enjoyed teaching Annie so much in the last several months. I'd really love it if you could leave my studio a review on Facebook. It should only take a few minutes. Reviews help me recruit new online students and really show them the value of online piano lessons. I'd so appreciate it. Just click this link to leave a review. Then you share the link. If you need help knowing what to say, here are some things to consider mentioning. How you found my studio, what you like about online lessons, how much your child has progressed, what you like about my teaching style. Thanks again. This could also be a text message, and that might be more powerful than an email, because everyone is on their phones all day long. And if you can reach them on their phone while they're just sitting at the bus stop, or they're waiting for carpool, or, you know, there's so many times parents are sitting there. Ask them to leave reviews. Okay, how do you get legal permissions? Something you should add to your studio registration is a consent checkbox, that the parent does give consent for you to use studio photography for marketing. And, you know, I think some teachers have asked me a couple of times about, well, what about privacy issues and all of that? That's important, but I think you're more concerned about that than most parents are. I would say 9 out of 10 times the parents will have no problem with it. As long as you're using those photos in a good way, which you are, then you shouldn't have a problem with it. But you can either send out a consent, or just send out an email that says, hey, I'm going to start recruiting students using photography from lessons. Can you please reply yes or no if that's okay with you? It can be as simple as that. Okay, keep asking your marketing questions. I will try to get back to these. Here's your guide to triple studio referrals in 2022. Doesn't that sound exciting to get triple the referrals, to start having a wait list where students are waiting in line to get lessons with you? That is the goal. That's what we really, really want. And I'll tell you, the exciting thing that comes from that is you can start diversifying what you do. Maybe you start doing group lessons. And that's something I teach you how to do, is do online group classes, so that you can make a little bit more per hour, a lot more per hour if you're doing group classes. Maybe you want to start hiring other teachers. We have a coaching call this month, not this month, in April, about studio growth by hiring teachers. What if you wanted to start building online courses for passive income? I have a brand new course I'm working on called Course Creator for Musicians. And I haven't announced this publicly yet, but that is going to be included inside Teach Music Online. I was going to make them completely separate products. And then I was like, no, you're still teaching music online when you're teaching courses. You're teaching music and it's online and it's digital. So we're going to include that with anyone who's in the membership. So it's a massive, massive course. I basically walk you through A to Z, how to validate your course idea, how to film it, how to produce it, how to write your scripts, how to use teleprompters, and then how to market it on social media and host it online, all of those things. I've gone through probably 3 courses myself on it to help me with this business. And so I've gathered a lot of information, and I want to make it easy for musicians to build courses as well. Okay, so here's your guide to triple your studio referrals, and this is kind of like another checklist for you. And okay, so the first one is assess how engaging you are during your online lessons. This is one that I recommend doing when you get to the engagement module inside the course. And basically, it's hard to do. It can be really hard to assess how you're doing as a teacher. And what I have you do basically is walk through an engagement evaluation for all of your students and think about, from the student side, how engaged are they and how can you engage them more. And if you can assess that and really take a step back and think about what you're doing and what you're not doing, then you can start to make some improvements for your business. Okay. The next one is to get specific on your branding and your marketing. If you're thinking that you can say you're an online piano teacher and that's all you need to say, that's not going to do it's not going to help you a lot in the marketing. You could still get referrals, but if you're wanting to market online and start advertising, you need to get clear on how you are a little bit more unique or different from other teachers. So what is it you offer? Are you really great at teaching students how to compose or how to read lead sheets? Or maybe you're fantastic with beginner students. Think about some things that could help you stand out and embrace that in your marketing. And some teachers say, well, I don't want to narrow it down. I don't want to say that I only teach piano because I actually teach 5 instruments. And this is a common myth that happens in general for businesses, is we want to encompass everything. But actually, as you get more specific, you can sorry, my husband's trying to fix the lighting a little bit. We had the sun coming through the blinds and he's behind the camera. There, that looks great. Better light. As you get more specific on your branding and marketing, it's easier actually to share stories. And that's what it comes down to, because you can share stories of those students accomplishing what you're really good at. Okay, and the third one is to make it easy for anyone to join your studio. Think about your onboarding process. So onboarding is just a fancy word for joining and getting into your studio. So how are they onboarded? Do you have to be there every step of the way? Do they have to actually email you? And if that's the case, you might be losing potential students. So I'll give you an example. Somebody finds you on Google. They click through to your website. At the top of your website, it says, sign up for a free trial lesson. or sign up for a meet and greet. They click on that button and they get to schedule a time with you through a software like Fonz. If that is the case, you have had 0 touch points, meaning they haven't had to reach out to you at all, and you just get a notification on your phone that says, Cindy wants a meet and greet on Wednesday at 5 p.m., and you just accept it. And then you have your meet and greet, and you have email templates with the policies, the registration form, and everything that you can just click send, which you probably do have that. But the onboarding needs to be as easy and as frictionless as possible, because if it's not, and they're getting hung up on your policies, or they're getting hung up on how to reach you, they're just gonna leave. They don't know you well enough to search you out or hunt you down. So those steps as a business owner are really, really, really important. Okay, and the last one is enjoy what you do. And I put this in here because I have had a few teachers mention to me that they just feel down and they just feel this like pressure, or maybe you feel a financial overwhelm or a number of things. Maybe you have health problems or challenges yourself or in your family, or maybe you lost students and you still haven't been able to get them back, or maybe you're starting over. All of those feelings and thoughts are going to be coming through in your lessons. And I'll tell you that the teachers that I see who are most successful love what they do. And not just love it, but they have really, really fantastic lessons that are highly engaging and very, I don't want to say good, I don't want to say a lot of technology, but they know their tech. So they have maybe 2 cameras. They do have an overhead camera. They have it set up in a way where the student is really getting an amazing experience. There is an episode I did in the podcast that is 10 things that make a successful teacher. And basically I walk through 10 things that I find most common in teachers that have a waiting list. So that would be worth checking out. And I'd encourage you to just start adding little things here and there that you feel like, envision yourself as that teacher with a waiting list, and what is that teacher doing? What does that teacher's website look like? What are they embracing? How do they teach? How do they communicate? And kind of envisioning that teacher and then just being that is actually a really great exercise for you to think about. So enjoy what you do. And I have a story. This is Heather. She lives in Canada. She's a good teacher friend of mine. And I reached out to her because she always has a wait list. And I said, well, you just share a little bit more that I can share in this class today. And she said, the majority of my students choose to do online lessons with me, a teacher 3 time zones away, rather than with a teacher in their community. I do a lot of professional development to continue to improve their experience. We have theme weeks, games, recitals, competitions, and fundraisers. I showcase them on my studio Facebook page. I make it a point to know their pet names, their siblings' names, and their interests. My studio is always at capacity, and I have a waiting list. I have a website and a studio Facebook page, but I do not advertise. Facebook mom groups were my go-to when I relocated my studio in 2018 and had some spots to fill. Paid advertising was not necessary. So I'll leave that up there for a second. You can read about Heather. She's so amazing. And I thought of her because I actually connected with her pre-pandemic, and I interviewed her because I knew she was teaching online, and I knew she had a waiting list, and I wanted to know, Heather, what are you doing? You're teaching online, and some teachers think it's harder to do that. And she didn't have to tell me, I could see it because she showed me the games she's using. And I'll even say at the time she was using Facetime on her iPad, and she was just holding up board games to the camera. That's how like in the past this was, because we have so many new things now that you can use that make it easier. But it's her fun personality and her ability to connect with students. And like she said here, she knows their pets' names. She knows their interests. And I think that that can go so far in building your wait list. And if you're feeling like you just need an overhaul with your teaching, you need some new methods, find some new methods. Don't be afraid to start something new. If you've been using Piano Adventures for 20 years, go try Wonder Keys. Go try something that's different and that gets you excited. Like, hey, let's learn these books together. Let's maybe go take a class on improvisation or jazz development and try to learn new things that you can then pass on to your students. Okay, I do see your questions. Let me see. I might have to get back to some of these. Fonz is F-O-N-S, that's right, Suzanne. You can reach out to me, I can send you a link. But Fonz is an amazing scheduling tool. Hi, Diana. Diana's one of our new TMO members. I'm glad you're here. Oh, she sent me a direct message. Rosie said, what do you mean with mom groups? On Facebook, there's groups. There's basically Facebook groups for all kinds of topics. And sometimes you can join a mom's group for your area. So like Phoenix Moms Get Together group or Phoenix Moms Promotions or something. And it's basically moms in a city. And you have to check with the admin to see if you can share promotional content. But usually what I would suggest doing is making sure that you get permission from them. Send a message to the admin and say, hey, what day of the week can I share a promo? This is something I also teach you how to do in the course, and I give you templates for how to post content on Facebook. Because I know it can be like, I don't even know what to say in these groups or how to advertise myself. But it's a really great way for free for you to start advertising. Okay, let's keep going. So we're now going to start talking about generating traffic with content. I might have to just breeze through this because I want to answer questions at the end. Content, if you aren't familiar with that term, is anything that you create and share online. And that can be through YouTube, social media channels, Facebook. And content doesn't have to be an advertising thing. It's just something that you share that's either telling a story or promoting yourself, your business, or talking about your family, anything. So the first thing is to be consistent, post at least once per week. And another podcast episode you can look at is the time management episode. I teach you how to do all of your posts at the beginning of the month and schedule them so that you're not having to think about it every single week. That's called batching. The next one is to share successes, wins, and stories. The next one is to always tag and share your posts with students and their parents. This one is so great because what you're going to do is create a post about Joey, who just finished his first primer piano book. And you're going to take a picture of him holding up that book, and then you're going to post it on your Facebook page and tag his parents. If the parents are tagged, they can see it and they can share it on their page as well. That's an amazing way for you to get some quick referrals because family and friends of Joey are going to see that post and go, who is his piano teacher? That sounds so fun. Okay, I want you to share in the chat one thing that you are going to start doing today, and I want you to really do this. So go to the chat and tell me, what is one thing? Are you going to do your Google Business? That was my guess. Sarah said Google Business page. Are you going to go ask for reviews? Are you going to do your evaluation, self-engagement evaluation? Are you going to start posting content regularly? What are some things you can do? So I'll give you a second while I take a drink. Okay, Harris, yes, sorry that you are late too. There will be a replay, I'll send it to you. Awesome. Christy says set up a Google Business. Miriam is saying a Google Business page. Robin learned to use 2 cameras. Great, Robin. And Elizabeth just asked, are you accepting membership? I am, and I am going to show you right now about the membership. And I want to say it has grown a lot. So some of you found me at the beginning of the pandemic when I was really pushing shifting online. Now it's much more about business. So I'm going to walk you through that briefly, and then we'll do some Q&A here. Oh, Sarah Miller says, rearrange my studio, clean it up to take pictures. So good. declutter your studios. You don't need all the frames and the trophies and I love, actually, I'm going to embarrass Vera, but I love her studio view right now. I can see you. But I like your plant and your keyboard. You look really pretty, and your headphones. When you popped on, I was like, oh, she has such a nice studio. That's so great. And I know teachers, that's not always possible. Like maybe you're teaching in your office or you're teaching in your living room. I know it just takes, you have to get there. And so just make small steps. Okay, so inside Teach Music Online, there are 7 core modules. And this is a very brief summary, but these are the 7 modules we walk through. And we do setting your vision, so your philosophy, your goals. The second one is utilizing online tools. So that is your transition to online teaching is number 2. And I help you do that. I mean, there's like 40 lessons in that one module and how you make that transition. The third one is to gain students quickly. So that's your onboarding, that's your initial reaching out to students with all those templates. Then we have, I can't see, my things in the way. Number 4, the 4th module is automating and setting your rates. So that's where you go through your rate calculator and you actually raise your rates, and you're going to be nervous to do that, but I encourage you to do that, and our community helps you do that as well. Number 5 is you transform your lessons by adding apps, adding software, adding tools. And notice that I did this intentionally. Transform your lessons is the 5th module. It's not at the top because you likely are doing a lot of great things right now and you don't need to transform what you're doing. You just need a couple of tools. But I want to give you tools that I love. So I do have an entire module walking you through all of the apps, software, maybe it's a new video software, so that you can kind of upgrade and update how you're teaching, but I don't want to overwhelm you at the very beginning. So that's why that's number 5. Number 6 is design a social media plan. And this is where you go through time management, you learn how to create content that sparks, that is really exciting when people come across you and that authentically shows you and your teaching. And then the 7th one is attract students globally. And that's where we go through your marketing plan. We talk about hiring other teachers, group classes, digital courses, doing partnerships, and getting on directories and things like that. So the idea is that it takes about 12 months to go through this whole thing when you do it step by step. So that's the overall approach. We also have twice monthly coaching. And on the screen, I just took a screenshot last night to show you our upcoming events. So those are all of the events coming up in the next 2 months. So twice a month, we do coaching calls and Q&A sessions. We do open performances with teachers, and I love these. One of our teachers, Richard, he has his doctorate in piano performance. He's incredible. He hosts these. He lives in Seattle, and you get to come on and play what you're working on and talk to other teachers. Suzanne asked if it's tax deductible. Absolutely. Yes, this is a professional development course. Yes, it is. And here is the Pro Teacher Certification. So the Pro Teacher Certification walks you through several milestones, and these milestones are going to help you update your cameras. It coincides with the course. So as you go through the course, you're also becoming certified. Some teachers want to get certified first so that they can get that little logo and put it on their website, which you can totally do that. Teachers who get certified also get put on my teacher directory. When anyone asks me for referrals, I send them to my directory, which is on the website. So you get to get your photo up there, and there's more things to come on that is in the works, but currently it is a directory. Let's see, what else about certification? Certification is really, really fun. The next one is your studio website builder. I talked about this earlier. This is our new course that's separate from the 7 modules, and this is your step-by-step guide if you are wanting to update your website. And I did want to mention, I use the website builder Squarespace. I walk you through signing up for Squarespace, connecting your domain, choosing your templates, and then uploading your photography and all of that. But you can apply all of what I teach through your website builder if you're using WordPress or something else. And then this is the course that's coming this year, hopefully within the next month. I'll just let you know. Well, yeah, it's hopefully coming in the next month. I get really excited about creating new courses for teachers, and I often overestimate how quickly I will be able to do them. So I originally wanted this to be done by the end of 2021. But it's the good news is it's just becoming bigger and bigger, and even a better course for you. So that is on its way if you want to do courses or a mini course or even something small that you can sell online. Okay, so this is the kind of the overall view. I'll put the link in the chat. This call today is about marketing and about studio growth and building your waitlist. But because this is where I can help you do those things, and I can give you those templates and everything we talked about, I of course have to mention the membership and what an amazing group of teachers it is. The link's right there in the chat. If you want to click through, you can learn more about joining and the pricing and all of that. This is Priyantha. He lives in New York, and he said, before TMO, I was afraid of retention, as virtual lessons require a different set of skills. I'm not very business savvy, so just the thought of marketing was jarring. TMO is laid out perfectly for those of us with an analytical bent. Everything is so clearly laid out, and the marketing tips are organic and utilize mediums I'm familiar with. TMO, people call it TMO, they've shortened it to that, has removed the guesswork and provided a clear structure for growth. I now have the how-to figured out and will continue to grow. And then here's Pamela again. This is actually something else that she said. I feel like her story is relatable. She said, at the beginning of the pandemic, before I found TMO, my studio lost a lot of students. I contemplated closing my studio and ceasing teaching. I was a bit depressed and very discouraged, and I did not know what to do. I knew there had to be a solution because I know that I am called to teach. I searched for an answer and I was shown one. My answer was, and still is, teach music online. Okay, so we are now going to open this up for a little bit of Q&A. So I want you to put your questions for me in the chat. And I'm just going to paste this link one more time before it gets lost in the chat. It's so fun to have you here today, wherever you're watching from. Thank you for taking the time to think about your business. And I always think, as you think about your business and what you can do to improve your teaching, that's just going to help your students be better learners. I always think about my mentors and the teachers that affected me and impacted me. There's so many of them, and particularly I think about my high school choir teacher and the love of music he gave me, which is why I majored in piano in Boston. And so when you're in it and you are paying for programs or attending workshops like this and you're figuring it out, just know that it is for a bigger, much bigger purpose. And while it might take you a year or two to get this all up and running, you're going to be doing this for decades, for a long time. And it's worth the professional development to get it going so that you don't have to feel just all the time like it's a huge challenge. Okay, I'm just looking at your questions, and I am going to share my screen while I let some questions come in. This is a visual of what the membership looks like. So we have an app that you can log into, and there's a website that you can log into, and basically it's kind of like a Facebook forum where teachers can ask questions. We have a discussion of the week. Teachers share suggestions. Anna hopped on. She was looking for jazz recommendations. You can filter all of our posts and content by just typing something up here at the top, which is really helpful as you're building. I just type in webcam and I find all the videos on that subject. All of the courses are over here. So we mentioned the 7 phases. Here's phases 4 and 5. When I go in here, it's all laid out and it will actually track where you are in the course. So when you come back in and you go, okay, I'm on business management part 2, I have so much information in here, so I want you to be able to keep track of where you are. That's why we have checklists and things like that. And then our events page is where you can RSVP to upcoming events, and then you'll get notifications. You can chat with teachers, so like I can click on a teacher and say hello, and you can connect with teachers. If you see someone who lives in your area or someone that teaches group lessons and you want to learn more from them, our teachers are so approachable. And then there was one other thing. I think that was the last thing, was the chats. And there's groups and topics as well. That's just to give you a little glimpse of how user-friendly it is and really fun it is inside the course. So let me look at some questions. And if you have to go, thank you so much for joining today. Feel free to reply to any email that I sent you, and I can answer questions for you there. But teachers, you can raise your hand, like do the raise hand icon if you want to share your audio, or you can just put your questions in the chat. Okay, so Tati was saying, I would very much like to create recorded lessons and offer private classes for whom want to take. Yeah, so recorded lessons would be the course I'm talking about the course creator for musicians. We have a teacher right now who created a mini course for primer piano students, and she has a huge studio, and inside her studio she wants to have them go through this primer course first before they join. And it's really, she gets a ton of enrollments on it. So she basically charges, I think, what she would charge for maybe almost a semester of lessons, but they can do it in their own time. And she said she gets like 5 enrollments a week. So that's her business. That's kind of her method, but there's a lot you could do with that. Maybe you have another instrument you like teaching, like ukulele or guitar, and you want to just do a short course on that. That's something you could offer. Is it possible to purchase the website builder course separately? It's not, Sarah. No, that's only available inside Teach Music Online. Would it be possible to only take the course creator part? I'm not sure on this yet, Christy. The reason why I want it inside is because you then get the community as well, and because there's so much overlap with marketing. So right now it is going to be inside the membership, but I am considering it, but it would almost be the same price anyway as the membership. So bundling them together makes the most sense. Am I able to record online lessons via FaceTime? Asks Sharon. So if FaceTime does not have a recording feature, but if you use a different software like OBS has a recording feature, but that would only record your end. QuickTime has a recording feature. Loom, so you'd have to do a separate software. You guys saw on Zoom, you can just click record. That's pretty special to Zoom. Most other softwares do not have that. Even like Rock Out Loud and Musicology, they don't have that because those are web-based. That's something that's unique to Zoom. Cindy said, what about all of the reviews I've received in the past? How do I get those reviews? Oh, I know, that's such a bummer. You have to have them do it because basically Google verifies it through their Gmail account. Unless, I mean, you wouldn't create a bunch of Gmail accounts and pretend to be your students. But you can still use those on your website. You can still do do quotes and just say their name. So on websites I've built, I'll just say like, Amanda said this and do the quotes. It doesn't have to be a screenshot. That's too bad. I know, that's a bummer. Okay, Carol, some of you are asking about a replay. Yes, you will get an email replay later today once I get this uploaded. How long do you set for a free trial lesson? 15 minutes. And you don't even have to do a free one. You can do a one-off lesson if you wanted to charge for that. I know some teachers that want to do that because there's a little more confidence that they'll show up. If you say, it's just $10 to come do a meet and greet with me. And if you can actually set that up through FONS, F-O-N-S, you can set up meet and greets that they pay for. I think free works. You have to decide, if it's free or if you have them pay for it. I know a lot of teachers that do both. Miss April says, I have RCM theory courses that I'm interested in collaborating with more teachers for them to be able to use for their students. Oh, that's a great idea. Really, really great idea. Collaborating with other teachers. So we have more than 200 teachers inside the community that are, there's a ton of them. So you could look around or you could post in the community on who would want to collaborate with you. Totally. And we're having a discussion this week on theory, and it's really cool to see all of the different theory methods and ideas that teachers have had. Vera, thanks for your help on gear when traveling. Yes, yes. Oh, good. You said you bought the X-Key Air. That's awesome. That's such a great, good. Is that what's behind you? Oh, nice. Yeah, so that's that little MIDI keyboard. Those are amazing. So teachers, if you don't know what that is, the Air X Key is a MIDI compatible, really thin keyboard. She's holding it up if you can see Vera in the window. So thin, and she's got it plugged in, so you have a USB plug into your computer, and you can use it with Classroom Maestro, you can use it with GarageBand, you can use it with a number of tools. So when you're traveling, if you have to go out for a business trip, or maybe your husband's leaving town and you want to go with him somewhere, you can take that little keyboard with you. It's awesome. Suzanne says, what if you don't finish in the year? Okay, so if you join the membership and a year goes by and there's new content or you haven't finished the course, my alumni get half off their second year. So that's kind of the, like, to continue with us, to continue in the community, they do get half off, which is really, really great. We have a lot of teachers that continue because you do sign up for your second year, and you would get that as we continue adding content. Is there a way around situations in which the parents want to be the ones doing the posting on social media? This is Harris. How do you get them to pick times that are good social media posting times? Okay, so you're saying the parents want to be the ones posting about your studio. You don't have any control over when they post or what they post, but you could always send a screenshot to parents and say, hey, this is, from our lesson today, this would be a great post for social media. Actually, I have never thought of doing that. Good idea. Everyone, thanks to Harris. But that actually could be a really great way to share images with your parents and say, hey, like, Joey did great today. He passed off his book. If you want to share this, because that's even better when it's coming from the parents. That's awesome. But I would say you can't really tell them what time to post unless they were in like a marketing course with you and you were helping them out. But I don't think you would need to either. Oh, someone asked, does your course help for piano and voice studio in person? Yes, so a lot of our teachers have gone back to in-person. A lot of them have a hybrid approach. And I mean, most of them are hybrid. We have very few that are 100% fully online. I don't know the percentage, but some of them are only in person. All of the things we talked about today, as an example, can be applied to your in-person studio. It's marketing strategy. So it's the same in the course. Like, you're building your website is for both types of studios. Creating courses, both types of studios. Yeah, Facebook marketing, all of that is absolutely for your studio together, both online or in person. Yeah, Robin was asking about RCM. That's Royal Conservatory of Music. That's their theory books. Their books are amazing. If you look up the X-Key Air on, or maybe it's Air X-Key, look it up on Amazon, and it looks like Vera might be able to type it in for you. Okay, teachers, thank you so much. This was so fun, and I will send out a replay. There's the link again. Please don't hesitate if you have questions or you want even more input on something we talked about today. Reach out to me. That's why I'm here. This is what I do. I coach teachers and create content and help you have more confidence in your teaching. So thank you so much. Will you guys unmute yourselves and just say hi as you leave? I would love to, or turn your videos on. I would just love to see you really quickly before you go.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello,
Good job, Carly.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hey, Carly.
Hi.
Did you have a handout? Were you going to post
I
a
have
handout?
a handout. Yes, I'm going to put it in the chat. Thank you, Cindy.
Carly. This was wonderful.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to drop this handout in. So if you guys want to stay on for 2 more seconds, it's called Marketing Worksheet, and it just sent it through. That's a PDF.
Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a great day.
Talk to all of you soon.
But
Bye, Carly. Thank you.